We are live. This is the NBA Rundown, and once again, the house is about to be nuked as we're here on the channel, brought to you by one of the best gamblers I've ever met, the Sports Keg, as he's going to continue to dominate this weekend. And of course, thanks to Jay for letting us jump on this channel and do this show for you guys. And what we like to do here, of course, Tyler, is find these NBA winners. You got some time, Tyler, today? You want to talk about last night a little? It's a 14-game slate. Do we need to dive straight in, or can we talk about the highest scoring game of the season?
I mean, we've seen it coming. The total was settled at 250, and they just ran up and down the floor.
That was the easiest bet. How did we not bet over?
Yeah, it looked like an all-star game. Outside of that, though, I mean, I don't think we got to talk about much. We got the winners home on Orlando. They won in a blowout. We missed on the total in that game. And the Lakers was the easiest bet on the board. I mean, they walked out there and they were up by 30 after one quarter. So it's good.
I'd argue the easiest bet was that over that we left off the card. But, yeah, it was another great night for us. And we continue to get these winners in. So we'll dive right in. My two main takeaways, that normally when we talk about a game like that, I want to fade them coming out the next game. I mean, that looked like a scrimmage. I don't think that those teams will be as tired or worn down. There was no physicality in that game at all. I was telling you beforehand, how many times did Obi Toppin just get a wide open lane to make a dunk there with Halliburton setting them up? A lot of that was the fact that they were trapping Halliburton straight off the bat, and they actually put some defensive intensity in there. Still couldn't get a stop. So that was a lot of fun. I had a good time watching that game. The Lakers looked fantastic. What was my other main takeaway from the last night? Oh, these Magic, man. Can't sleep on this team. This is a good team.
Is good.
Yeah, especially as you mentioned on the rundown yesterday with Jonathan Isaac's back. This team looks really good. But enough about last night, Tyler, because we have 14 games to get through. And the Orlando Magic will be at the top of the bill with +4 at home against the defending champion Denver Nuggets. Total is 218. Tyler, I told you before I started, I was listening to Ski and Bobano and Wham and those guys yesterday. They're on a big Magic first half kick. Magic are at home. I think they're 7-1 so far on this season for the first half. So they keep winning the first half. If you like the Magic, I would give those guys some props and go with that here. I lean towards the Magic. My projections like the Magic, but I'm afraid to go against Denver. I don't know. What do you think here, Tyler? Also, what I remember just from years past is this night before Thanksgiving can be wacky too. Yeah, you got to wonder which guys are checked out and which guys are really in.
Yeah, definitely got to check on that. I can tell you one guy who's not going to be checked out is going to be Jokic after what happened last game. Mm-hmm. So I, to be honest, I'd probably leave the side and the total alone in this game and just bet Jokic triple-double at +165. He was well on his way against Detroit, who was small in the front court that night. He had 9, 5, and 5 before he got thrown out over just some BS. And then now he's going to play a front court of Banchero and Batatse. Those guys don't stand a chance down low. Like, I like Banchero as a player. He ain't stopping Jokic. So triple-double is the 10 assists here because the defense the Magic play. But I think they're going to have to swarm Jokic, so he's going to get a lot of double teams, and he'll get a lot of easy passes to guys that could score. I think he gets the triple-double. I'm worried that you could see this game where the Magic's defense is stopping everyone on Denver except Jokic, and the game's very close, and it's decided by a late shot. So I don't bet the side here. Just give me Jokic.
Well, you know what I noticed? I didn't notice what we were doing these earlier. This is a big edge to the over here. What do you think?
I'll probably stay away from the over. I mean, Denver could put up points. The Magic can too, but the Magic have been very, very good defensively. Mm-hmm. And if they clamp down on these Denver role players, this is going to be a lower scoring game, I think.
My thing is I'm going off what you said earlier. Even though they are good defensively, Jokic kind of unlocked
Yeah, they're very small, but he could beat them up in the front court. But if they're just locking down the perimeter and it's like, well, Jokic in the end had 35, 16, and 10. But the next highest scorer had 15. Like, that might not get you there.
All right. Well, I might try and talk to you about into that after the show, but with 14 games, we don't need to belabor it. The Washington Wizards are +4 in Charlotte, taking on the Hornets. Total is 241.5. Tyler, even though my projections had this game going under, I lean over here. Two of the worst defensive teams in the league, flat out, actually, two of just the worst teams in the league here. What do you expect from this one?
Yeah, I mean, Hornets coming off a big win spread. Tatum was in the offseason talking about just on some random Monday he'll be playing the Hornets on League Pass. And, well, that random Monday was a few days ago.
Wait, what?
There's an interview he said that he was talking to somebody. He's like, yeah, just on some random Monday on League Pass we'll be playing the Hornets. And then, like, the conversation went on. I forget how it ends. But and I think those guys took it to heart on the Hornets side because they showed up in that game on Monday and they stole that game in the end. Tatum played very well, though. He dropped 40. But as for this matchup with Washington, I mean, these two teams have played each other a couple times already this year. I'm pretty sure they've split, right? I'm looking back on the stats now.
Yeah, and they did. No, I'm going off the top of my head because I remember we bet the first one and we stayed away from the second one and it zigzagged. The Wizards won in Charlotte, and then Charlotte came back and won in Washington a couple nights later. So, no. I'll have to, let me double check that right now. Regardless,
right.
I don't want to get involved in this game.
I got it right here. It's, Charlotte won 124-117 at Washington, and then the game at Charlotte, Washington won 132-116.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably just stay away from the side in this one too. Bad teams playing bad teams, especially two bottom four teams. These outcomes could just be anything. You see it in the first two outcomes. So home court means nothing here. If I'm playing anything, I'm playing the over.
Exactly.
Overs have went very well for both of these teams. You got a bunch of young guys on both teams. You're telling me these guys don't want to just get in and get out and just hit the clubs tonight spread and not get into a physical basketball game. This is going to look like last night's game with Indiana. Maybe not 300, but you're going to get close. I'd bet the over here.
All right. Yeah, maybe we'll make that an official play right now on our sheet. We do have that as a lean. Let's move on. The Brooklyn Nets are +2 now in Atlanta. Tyler, dang it. We didn't bet that yet, did we? The value's gone. This opened at 4. I agree with the market here, but my projections don't. My projections like Atlanta. What do you think?
Yeah, this game, it scared me a little bit because Brooklyn's been good to us, and I wanted to take them as a dog here again. But then you run the game through your head, and it's how do they lose this one? It's their offense goes stagnant, which we've seen in some games, and they're playing a high-powered offense. Even though they might be missing DeJounte Murray tonight, they could still put up a ton of points. And if Atlanta's still putting up points and Brooklyn hits a dry spell, all of a sudden we blink, we're down by 20, and we can't score to come back in that situation. So I leaned Brooklyn, but in the end, I couldn't get there. I probably just stay away from this game as a whole now that the line's moving in favor of Brooklyn with that news.
I kind of want to go towards Atlanta now. The projections like Atlanta.
If I'm playing it through like a performance double. Like I'm not just going to play the spread at a -110. Like I'm going to get a nice price on this game.
My final thought on this game is just completely correlated to the total. Hawks win, it goes over. Nets win, it goes under.
I say yes, but I mean, there's situations where the Nets are shooting very well and the game goes over and they win the game. So
I just have problems seeing the Nets keeping pace with this Hawks offense if they're not getting stops.
Yeah, that's my biggest worry. That's why I strayed away from the Nets side in the end, but it didn't push me far enough to pull the trigger on Atlanta.
I think I'm going to fade the line movement here, and I'm going to take the Atlanta Hawks here. And we'll talk about if that officially goes on the sheet afterwards, but just so people watching this know, that's 2 points. Too much. At +4, maybe you could have talked me into Brooklyn here. All right, let's move on. The Toronto Raptors are +3. They're in Indiana taking on the Pacers. Total's 240.5. I wanted to take the over on the Pacers until this little trend ends. You're a little concerned, though, about this Raptors team. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, we just said it. We've tried to swear off Raptors totals. We tried to bet one yesterday. It didn't work. Now we're trying to talk ourselves into betting another one. I mean, it's Indiana, though, so you want to pull the trigger on the over. But if anyone's going to break the streak on a total, it's probably going to be the Raptors. on a back-to-back. They played in Orlando last night, so now they got to travel up to Indiana. It's a bad travel spot. I think they get worked here, so I'll be on Indiana. But
do we want to make this
over.
Pacers a play? I have them by 6. The line is down to 3.
I like the Pacers here because it's another one where if Toronto goes stagnant, like we've seen against Orlando last night, the Pacers, you said their average possession is 10 seconds. They're going to put up points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like Pacers here. I lean the over, but in the end, I couldn't pull the trigger because it's the Raptors.
I don't care. We're taking the Pacers. I'm adding this sheet right now.
Oh, I like the Pacers, yeah, but the over. The over's where
that's official. That's official. Let me add this in. I got to bet it right now. I don't want this line to move on me. All right. What is next? The game of the night, Tyler. The Milwaukee Bucks are plus 4.5. They're in Boston taking on the Celtics. Tyler, this line has moved a point while we're talking. Is that because of Jason Tatum news? Can you check that for me?
I'll look now.
I'm refresh.
I think he's still questionable.
My guess is.
Yeah, I see no news on him.
Still. Game time decision still.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a little buyback here on this Boston side here as this line's dropped to 4.5. At 4.5, I like Boston.
I lean Boston, but I know it's been this how the start of the show has been with the sides and the totals, except for the last game. I'm not betting the side or a total in this game because I like Boston, what they put together. If Tatum plays, I still can't get there just because of what Milwaukee showed me in their last couple games spread. Like, they're not the same team they were when we watched them the first 5 games of the season. We're like, oh, this defense stinks. Like, they can't do anything. They seem to slowly be putting it together, and I really don't want to jump in front of a team and that looks like they're putting it together like that. And if they just keep improving, this could be the spot where it just explodes and they have a great game. It's offense versus defense, though, because Dame and these guys are going to look to score a ton to where Drew and these guys are going to look to lock down. It'll be entertaining to watch, maybe a live bet spot, but I'm not getting in pregame.
Yeah, the Celtics are such a better team. I think the X factor there is that Giannis will still be the best player on the floor. I know that Jason Tatum fans can send me hate mail right now, but I still think that he's the one that has the chance to really take control of this game on both ends of the floor and in the situation they're in. I wouldn't be surprised here. It's tough for me to not like the Bucks, but at 4.5, my projections like the Celtics. I have them winning by 6. But like you said, it's a high-profile game. We have plenty of other spots that we like. We can stay away from this from now. My final thing would be on this, Tyler. I got to ask you. Let's say you're home tonight or you're watching the games and you don't have a ton of family stuff going on. I mean, do we grab the plus 163 right now and just hope that Milwaukee just gets a lead at some point?
I mean, you could go that route.
There are potential here, don't you think?
I mean, part of me thinks so, but we've also seen these matchups where Boston's hit the floor and started raining home threes, and it's like, there they go. They're up by 20, and they don't look like they're going to look back.
Okay. So don't even play that ARP spot. Let's keep it moving. The Miami Heat are -3. They're taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are coming off that big overtime win. A lot of conversation around Donovan Mitchell. I thought the team looked better last night without him out there. It's the pecking order is clear, and I feel like Garland can do things. The question is, Clyde, I see you in the chat. We'll get to the stuff. The question is, do the Cavaliers need Donovan Mitchell to get those buckets in the playoffs? Will Darius Garland still be able to get those tough buckets in the playoffs? But I like the way the Cavs looked last night. Regardless, this is a great time to fade them. They're coming off a big win in overtime against a Miami Heat team that we know is tough. And I know that you get mad because we can't name any of their players, but these guys just keep coming through no matter who's out there for them. I like the Heat at -3. My projections also my projections got it right at 211. So no play on the total. Well, 212. I got it at 212 on a 211. No like on the total. Give me the Heat. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I love the Heat here. You touched on it. Overtime for the Cavs last night. They're not a deep team, so they had to play their guys tons of minutes. No one's really coming back. It looks like Dean Wade's probably not playing either, so that's another body out. I think you can maybe see another body hit that injury report too if one of the big guys with Garland wants to sit and maybe get a break. So this could be an ugly game for Cleveland. I don't want to say it's a scheduled loss because they can't schedule an overtime game, but I'd call it a spot loss. You know what I mean? Like, of all the spots they can be
right. It's not a schedule loss if it's just a normal game last night and they lose.
Yeah, but I'm saying with the overtime, like the spot they're put in, like it almost looks like it's put them in a spot where they're almost guaranteed to lose this game. Like they could chalk this game in pretty early, go home, and be done until after the break. I'm taking Miami here. I think they win this game rather easily.
All right, Tyler. Well, Clyde, is really supportive of the show. He's really upset we haven't been talking to the chat. So let's take a break real quick. What's up, Robert? He says, let's go. Clyde, I'll get one of you up here. We see the keg in the chat. He's ready to continue his winning ways this weekend. As I saw, he added some David Montgomery props for tomorrow there in the Lions game. So make sure you're checking out all that. Talking about Obi Toppin. Yes, Clyde. I mean, that was fun last night. He agrees with you. Jokic should eat. Richie Small says, every time a ref ejects a player early on, my only thought is he had the under on points. I don't think it's that. I don't think these guys gamble. I think they get too worried about being like disrespected or trying to keep control of the game. And but what do I know? Maybe I'm a little naive. Richie Smalls also mentions tonight's the biggest bar night of the year. I wonder how many guys in this chat will be going out and how many guys are going to be live sweating the NBA. Hey, to be fair, maybe not a bad night, right, Tyler, to just take the plays that we give out and go out and enjoy yourself and then just have some cash to offset all that you're going to spend at the bar tonight. Here's one from Clyde. Is this true? He said, I'm playing the Grizzlies. I'm going to be honest. This is Dylan Brooks. I can't name a certain player on that team. He didn't say that. Well, he probably would. Huh?
I think he said that last year about like a team or something. I don't know. Or a football player said that about someone.
How could he not know his teammates from last year? Yeah, Ryan Lee says Pacers money line. Hey, Ryan, I think you're safe just laying the 3. But at minus 138, you can go either way. He's bringing up it's a holiday revenge game. Yeah, it's another reason to like Boston. And the other thing I was going to say is he's just really good, regardless of revenge or not. And I don't think that Milwaukee has made up for his point of attack defense yet. Now, I don't know if Boston is the best team to take advantage of that, right? They don't have a De'Aaron Fox or a John Morant or a Shea that can kill them at the point guard position. Perfect rotations in here. Guys, hit the like button. Hit that like. Keg is absolutely right. Let's get this channel up and going in the algorithms. Perfect rotations waits till 30 seconds before tip, before he bets any NBA game.
Sometimes that's not even long enough because we've seen guys get rolled out
at live.
Like 7:02.
You got to live. We're gambling on the NBA perfect rotation. I put these bets in early. We'll see how it turns out. We'll keep it moving, though. So, Clyde, now you know that the chat is working. The Sacramento Kings are minus 1.5 against the Pelicans. Totals 235.5. Tyler, we were opposite on this game when we were talking pre-show. I like the Kings to bounce back. I love the little zigzag theory here when these teams play twice in a row. And there was a terrible spot for the Kings coming off that big win over the Thunder the night before when they played on Monday night. Now they have a little bit of rest. So they come into this game on more equal footing. Plus, they have a little bit of tape for Mike Brown to go ahead and get on these guys, not make the same mistakes. I like the Kings minus 1.5, but you think that I'd be walking into the trap playing that. What do you think?
I just think it's a bad matchup after watching that game they played the other day. I know it was a bad spot for the Kings. They were pretty fatigued. But then the numbers come out on this lineup that New Orleans has been running over the past couple of games of Tyson
read it off for everybody.
Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Joe Val. Now, when you read that lineup off and you look at it, it's like, well, offense probably only comes out of like 2 guys there, but you got a lot of length on the floor. The defense is just ridiculous. They've played 42 minutes together. They're plus 37 on the floor. They have 147.7 offensive rating, 105.7 defensive rating. So that gives them a 42 net rating. That is ridiculous.
My only pushback is it's 47 minutes.
It's 42 minutes. So it's even less.
Right. You understand my point?
Yeah, I agree. But I also see why when you see the lineup and it's working, it's like it's some of those where it's like, oh, well, why is that lineup working to where the other one wasn't? It's like, well, maybe that guy sparked the get up the team needed to get the tempo going and hit some shots. When you look at this lineup, it's just well, how the hell are you going to score on them? They got a big guy down low that you can't body who's going to be in the paint. Zion's going to be roaming down there too, so you ain't pushing him around. Ingram, Herb Jones, and Dyson Daniels' arms are so long they account for 90% of the perimeter, so you can't pass the ball around really. It's tough to move the ball on that team. I can see the Kings running themselves into a lot of turnovers in this game with the tempo, and Pelicans just inflate the score from there. So I lean Pelicans.
All right, we are opposite on this game, so if either of us bet it, it will not be given out as a sheet play because I think the Kings bounce back here. Just like you said when we talked about the game on Monday, I mean, the Kings are probably the better team, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
You're worried about. I think the Kings will have more regular season wins at the end of the year.
I'd say so, but if they're missing a starter too, that could be
Yeah, and that's the one thing that's kept me off from placing this bet, Tyler, and just completely overruling you. Keegan Murray, who's been playing so well for the Kings, low key, really good on the defensive end this year.
He'd probably be the guy that defends Zion or attempts to. Who else would do it? Sabonis probably got to guard Joe Val.
They probably put Barnes on him.
Yeah, but now that leaves one of those. Who does that leave to guard one of those two guys now?
If Herb Jones and Dyson Daniels beat me, that's fine.
No, I'm saying because now Barnes can only guard one of Zion or Brandon Ingram if Keegan Murray misses.
You're exactly right, and that's why I haven't bet the game yet.
Yeah, it's you just look around. It's I'm pretty sure Herder's out. He's not on my report right here. Let me check the other one. Is he still out? Herder's playing. Even with him in there, I don't think he's I don't even think he can get in front of Brandon Ingram and stop him whatsoever. So it's it'd be a tough matchup at that point if Keegan Murray misses.
Yeah, that's what's keeping me off. But just full disclosure, if I find out that he's in and this line doesn't move, I'll be on the Kings, and Tyler and I can send each other messages in the evening about who was right. The Chicago Bulls are +7 in OKC taking on the Thunder. Total's 225. Tyler and I have already bet this Thunder at -7. I know we have a lot of favorites today, Tyler. Are we worried about that?
No.
Okay. Chicago's terrible, and they got a lot of dysfunction going on. The Thunder are really good this year, and they continue to play well here. I don't think there's really not even much to say about this game. You go ahead and take over for me, Tyler, because this just almost seems so easy. I don't even know what to say about it.
I think the best way there's not much to break down here, so let's just go the route of how do we lose this bet? And the routes are Chicago shoots one of those games where they're just shooting ridiculous percentages from three and from the field. OKC is playing catch up 90% of the game. The other thing that worries me a slight bit here, Spread, you got a revenge narrative here, and it ain't the players. It's the head coach. Billy Donovan.
So long ago.
I know, but still, it's in OKC. I think there's that slight thing, but I still think SGA and these guys get whatever buckets they want. Chet's going to pull Vucevic around. He's going to be too quick for him. I'm on OKC here. I think they do their thing. They win this game. I am
too. I'm going to just fade the Bulls until these lines get
the Bulls hang around for a quarter and a half. After that, OKC's up by 20 to 25.
All right. Yeah. I think we fade the Bulls until they start giving us double digits on these spreads. The Los Angeles Clippers are -8 here going against the San Antonio Spurs. The total is 231.5. My projections like the Spurs in this one, Tyler, but I don't feel comfortable playing it. What do we make of this team? The Clippers are 2-0 since moving Westbrook to the bench. Total is 231.5. I have it at 230.
Yeah,
not much of an edge there. Spurs are pass for me, but I'm fine staying away from this game.
I'm not going to say your numbers are wrong on the Clippers, but I think they're slightly.
I mean,
they're
I'm not going to be offended because we're not using this lineup. There's only 2 games with the lineup.
Yeah, it's the adjustments they made. We know those adjustments make a huge difference.
Exactly.
So the numbers aren't going to show it just yet. So I think I throw the numbers out on the Clippers games. I think they end up winning the game. Harden's the point guard. So I'm going right back to what worked for us in this matchup a couple days ago. Harden double-double, Harden double-double and win, and Harden 10-plus assists and win. Because you're getting a little better odds on that, just singling out the assists.
I like it. I think that's the best way to approach this game. But, like I said, I do like the Spurs if you want to take some points there. So we don't like every single favorite on the board, Tyler. Let's keep it moving. The Memphis Grizzlies are plus 5.5. Tyler, another one. We like the favorite, but it's because we've just singled out certain teams to fade. And I think on both – 3 games just went off the board for me. 4 games just went off. The injury report must have just hit. Grizzlies are another one that we want to fade here. And I know, Dylan Brooks is going to get his little victory lap here, but team looks pretty bad without him. Of course, they also did lose Tyus Jones, Brandon Clark. Steven Adams has been out for a while, right? But this Grizzlies team lost all the depth that made them such the grit and grind warriors. Big revenge game for Brooks, although I don't know if – is that going to make him worse? Doesn't seem to do good after he runs his mouth. Regardless, we like the Rockets minus 5.5 here.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty simple. Memphis is one of the bottom 3 teams. The trends are going to tell you that Memphis has done well in this matchup, but that was with a better roster than they have right now. They had the coaching advantage at any point in those matchups. So now you look at the matchups. Houston has the better roster and the better coach coming in here. They're not laying many points. It's 5.5. I think they just blow Memphis off the floor. Sengun has a big game. Love is double-double again. We hit that the other night. And I think they just win this game pretty easily, spread. I don't think we got to overthink this one much.
I agree with you. The Timberwolves are out to 6.5, Tyler. I was telling you that was my buy spot for this team. So it's Philadelphia 76ers. They're taking on Minnesota plus 6.5. Total's 220.5. Of course, the Sixers did play overtime last night, but you get one of my favorite theories here. Superstar subtraction is Joel Embiid will sit. I want to take the points here, Tyler. Talk to me.
I can't take the points here. I see your route of superstar subtraction, but I think he just means entirely too much. Maxey, great player, looks good, scoring a lot of points. Now he's going to have the focus on him. We all know if at any moment, if Ant Edwards decides in his head he's going to play defense, he's going to lock him down, and he ain't going to do much from there. Where do they go from there? Tobias Harris, Nicholas Batum, who was playing volleyball at the end of last night's game. They don't have anything else after that. So I think in the end, Minnesota wins this game. I'm down to bet a Karl Anthony Towns 3+ threes and they win at plus 205. His double-double and win plus 215. Or even coming in on Ant Edwards on a 25+ and they win. Instead of laying the points. I was down to lay the points at 4.5. It's 7. Seems a little weird.
Yeah, I think 7's too much. Give me the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's move on. Next one on the docket. Do you think this moves to 7? If I like it, I might as well just wait, right?
I'm staring at 7.
Yeah, so it'll move to 7. All right, Golden State Warriors are plus 2.5 against the Phoenix Suns. Tyler, this seems like an easy spot to me for Phoenix. I don't care that Booker's out.
Well, no, he's not out. He was just pulled off the injury report. So, yeah, lock it in. Suns.
He's playing?
Yeah.
Tyler, tonight's going to suck. Dude, we have way too many favorites.
I'm not as worried about this Golden State team.
I'm not either. I think they're overrated. I think they're
so.
Curry and a bunch of old dudes.
Curry and a bunch of bums at this point, just a bunch of names. In that video I sent you of Clay, he has no idea what's going on around him. He's just lost. Did you watch that video?
No, but the guy's
it was in the post game.
He smokes more than you, me, and the chat.
No, the post game interview. They were like, Clay, tonight was your first night of the season. You passed 20 points, and he kind of just gave the reporter this smirky look, he was disgusted with that question. And he was like, how many times I've scored 20+ in my career? I've scored more points more than that in a quarter, and it's you're just oblivious to the fact that you suck now. So he don't even realize that he still thinks he's one of the best players. He's going to demand his minutes. That ego's not going anywhere. Steph can only do so much. it's Phoenix just kind of romps them here, spread, I think. Even with, I think who'd they roll out? Guantanamo got rolled out, so they lose a 3-point shooter. That's probably 3 threes they take off the board, but KD does his thing. Booker does his thing. Steph and these guys, I don't see it.
I mean, I get to fade the Warriors on the road in a KD revenge game. Sign me up. The Utah Jazz are now
like CP3 revenge. Not scared of it.
Oh, we didn't. We buried the lead. You told me this before the show. Finally, tell me who the referee in this game is.
Oh, Scott Foster, head referee. Makes it even easier.
Yeah, Chris Paul's best friend, right?
Tell me KD ain't shooting 25 free throws tonight.
I don't know it off the top of my head, but I see Robert in the chat, so I'll bet you he's going to drop whatever the trend is because he's our ref trend expert. And I'll bet you it's going to be like CP3 is 1-27 against the spread with Scott Foster or something ridiculous.
If you add in the playoffs, he's like 1-45.
Tyler, my only concern is that we like so many favorites here tonight. The Utah Jazz are -2.5. They're in Portland. They're taking on the Blazers. Total's 228. You like the Jazz. Tell me why.
I mean, I think Portland is the worst team in the league. We talk about these
right now, but they're missing a couple of their best
read
players.
You a stat that made you burst out laughing before the show. They are shooting. They have an effective field goal percentage, which accounts for 2-point field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage. Just all their shooting percentages pretty much jammed together. They are shooting a combined 47% from the field. That is absolutely fucking terrible. I could do better with a blindfold on, standing 10 feet from the hoop and walking outside right now. They suck. And Utah's not much better. But they have a couple better players, I think, and they run at a pace and they can shoot threes, which I think is going to open up the score in this game. Markkanen is going to be the best player on the floor. Clarkson's going to hit some threes too. Utah wins this game by 5 to 10 points. They might even blow Portland out spread. And the thing about everyone's going to be like, oh, well, they both played yesterday back-to-back. Well, Portland lost by 13. I'm pretty sure they pushed the spread against Phoenix.
Yeah,
and they played all their guys 35 to 39 minutes, I think was the max. And you look at the Utah game. Utah was down 30 before the first quarter was over. I think the highest minutes of starter play was 29. All those guys are going to be fresh coming into the night. Utah smashes tonight, gets their win back.
I'm so worried about, all these favorites.
And you want to know who else sucks? Scoot Henderson, who's in the G League now, spread.
He's rehabbing.
He's in the G League.
He's rehabbing.
That's what they always say.
I know what you're saying, though, because he was supposed to have that.
He's supposed to be Derrick Rose, and he ain't Derrick Rose.
But he's got the skills. He just doesn't have the athleticism.
Yeah, it's not there.
Right? Like, we thought he was going to come in like Jaw and Fox and just blow everyone off the dribble. Right?
Yeah,
and it's just not happening.
Yeah, it's like that was what
you were. He's still going to be a good player, though. I think he's still going to be good.
If he
just might not be the superstar. Pardon?
You better learn how to shoot the ball.
Well, most of the young players need to work on that. Tyler, our final favorite that we like tonight. Why are we doing this to ourselves? The Dallas Mavericks are -2.5 going against the Los Angeles Lakers, who seem to have the NBA Cup circled on their tournament. LeBron and Adam Silver working hand in hand to make this thing relevant. You know they want the Lakers to do it, and the Lakers showed that last night, running up the score against the Utah Jazz. Now they play against the Dallas Mavericks. Of course, the Kyrie LeBron narrative is going to be in there. But quietly, the Dallas Mavericks have been playing very well. They're a much better team than I expected them to be this season. And I would say the reason is because they absolutely nailed that draft pick of Derek Lively. Very rare for a center to come in and be able to be productive like that right off the bat. Although we've seen it the last couple seasons, so maybe that's changing here. But with Lively in the lineup, and you get some real rim protection, some real size in there, some defensive rebounding, this Maverick team looks a lot better. They rested last night. The Lakers didn't play. That I want to.
Dallas hasn't played since Sunday.
Yeah.
So they're fully rested. Like, those guys are going to be fresh when they step on the floor. LeBron's not playing tonight. You could book that.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm like 75% sure he's not playing tonight.
He's not even on the list, is he?
He got Q-tag. He was updated as of... Where's he at?
This RotoWire, they gave me LeBron and AD as green, which is very likely.
As of 8 minutes ago, questionable with a left calf contusion. I know he didn't play much last night due to the blowout, but we know they talk about those in-season tournament games. The Lakers are going to be one of the finalists in that. They clinched home court last night. They wanted that game, and you knew it from the moment they stepped on the floor because they hit that floor like it was a playoff game. Tonight's not the same. There's no real need to win this game. This is the spot where you'll see LeBron and Street close on the sideline rooting on the young guys, and he'll go home to his family without having to be sore tomorrow for Thanksgiving. I don't see him playing tonight. You know who's not going to care about Thanksgiving tonight, Spread? The guy who probably doesn't.
Not American.
Yeah, the guy who doesn't even celebrate the holiday, Luka. He's going to go out there.
My guess is Kyrie doesn't celebrate it either, right?
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards Kyrie doesn't celebrate it either. So those guys can give a shit less about this holiday. They're going to smash. It's going to be Dallas just kind of romps them. Lay the three. Play the Luka double-double and win at plus 160. Bet his triple-double at 6-1. His triple-double and wins 8-1. Like, I like all those.
All right. Well, I'm concerned when we like a lot of favorites, but that's happened in the NFL this year, and it's worked out for us.
Yeah.
All right. And there we have it. We made it through the whole card. I didn't miss any games, did I?
No, we got everything.
Remember last week I kept skipping the Giants and Redskins?
Yeah. Now we see why, because you guys kept talking on Washington, and you knew it. You were like, Giants are going to win this game.
Yeah. All right. So you like the Mavs, but Tyler, what is your favorite bet for the day?
I'll give a side and a prop. My favorite side, give me Houston minus 5.5. We're going to fade that Memphis team because they suck. Okay. And for the prop, well, actually, I'll give them 2. And you can parlay them together because we'll get a nice price on this one. We hit this once already. Bet the Jokic triple-double, bet the Luka triple-double, and parlay them together.
All right. Marquis says, I disagree with that Jokic take. It's going to be a blowout, and the bench is going to play a lot of minutes. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think you're underestimating.
Orlando's
Orlando.
Orlando's a lot better than people give him credit for. And
Orlando could be the 4th or 5th seed this year.
He's still going to play, what? Even if they blow him out, Spread, if they're up 20 at halftime, he still plays, 7 minutes into the third quarter?
No, they don't even pull people to like 7 minutes in the fourth.
Yeah, Jokic could get that triple-double by halftime, especially in a blowout. So I'll still play the Jokic's props there.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Orlando covered or even won the game. Denver's not the best road team.
I would not be very surprised if, in the end, this is a very close game. Orlando's defense has those guys smothered except for Jokic. He misses 1 or 2 shots. Orlando sneaks out with a win.
And the other thing is, this is a big game for Orlando. Denver's the defending champs.
Yeah, Denver can give it.
What if their mind's already on Thanksgiving?
Denver knows exactly what they are once Jamal Murray comes back. They're championship caliber team. So losing games like this when you're missing a guy, it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's like he'll be back.
Can see Mike Malone being pissed and the rest of the players being like, oh, well, see you Friday.
Yeah, we'll see you guys. See you guys later.
Yeah, so all right, there you have it. My best bet, boy, there's so many good options here. Tyler, but I think I'm going with Phoenix. I think I want to fade these Warriors on the road. God. Katie, revenge game with Booker back in the lineup.
Spread, is this the first time in a few years where they haven't played on Thanksgiving? I swore they played on Thanksgiving.
No, they never play on Thanksgiving. It's always off. Always off. They always do this. They always do the full schedule on Wednesday night.
Okay.
So they've ceded Thanksgiving to the NFL.
And then they fight over Christmas.
Yeah. So
cool. I could have swore they played Thanksgiving games, but I was wrong.
All right, and so just so you guys know the schedule. So, Tyler, we got to figure this out because we need to be done by 3 Eastern on Friday, right? Because no one's going to watch our show when the Jets are on, right? I mean, everyone wants to see the New York Jets.
Everybody wants to see Tim Boyle quarterback.
But the idea is we're going to start at what?
He might be better than both of our quarterbacks, though, because I got Kenny Pickett and you got some guy named AOC.
Who's better between our 2 quarterbacks?
Yours. Mine sucks.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say Pickett, but there's no way. AOC's better. All right. What do we want to do, though, Tyler? Because you'll be up early that day, right?
Yeah, we can go
You want to do 1 Eastern for NBA, 2 Eastern for NFL?
That works for me.
Because we have an NBA game at, I think, 2:30 Eastern that day. I think the Celtics play early that day.
That's fine.
Is that an under spot? I want to bet that the second it opens. Bro, a morning game the day after Thanksgiving?
Yep, we'll just have to see what that number opens.
Oh my gosh, I can't. What do you think it'll open at? Let me look right now. Might probably tell just by projections. It's the Celtics and the Magic. Let's see. Today I had the Magic projected at 108 versus Denver, which is kind of similar. And I had the Celtics at 119 against Milwaukee. So about 230. If it's 230, we're going to smash the under. It's got to be less than that. It's going to be like 224. All right, there you have it for us. I like the Suns -2. Tyler likes a Jokic and a Luka triple-double. Anything else for the people before we log off, Tyler?
Nah, that's pretty much it. Wrap it up, and everyone can have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully we get some of these favorites home tonight. Tyler, I'm a little worried about this card, but when you look at each game individually, right, I feel like we're on the good sides. It's just when I look at the card total and I have all the favorites. So maybe I'm overthinking it. But everybody have a good Thanksgiving. Guys, give us that thumbs up. Thank you for hanging out with us. You know how much we appreciate all the support, the guys that retweet the show, being in the chat with us. We appreciate all that stuff. We'll be back Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're doing NBA first, NFL second. Nuke the house.